Hello, hello, hello. Hello, and good morning, everyone. I'm going to give everyone a couple of minutes to get in, a couple of things to talk about. Welcome to today's live stream. It is Friday, March 7th, 2025. And we were talking about the Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie body cam footage yesterday. And, we decided that we were going to do a part 2 today. Usually I go live on Thursdays. So if you guys ever want to join me, make sure that you subscribe, set your notifications. It's usually a long form video. Hi, Betsy. It's usually a long form video on Wednesday and then a live stream on Thursday. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Bacon Bears, and we talk about big topics. We talk about why they matter, and we just want to have an honest conversation back and forth. So with that being said, I'm not going to talk too much in the intro. I want to get into this because there is a lot to unpack. There's a lot to talk about. And so we're just going to go right ahead into it. This is part 2. If you want to see part 1, you can go to my channel and check it out. Or I guess I could link it in the description. I'm still trying to figure out how to stream on YouTube. Also, I didn't know that you could buy the rights to body cam footage. Because my live yesterday, it informed me this morning that my live from yesterday could not be monetized because Netflix owns the rights to this body cam footage because of their documentary. And that was very interesting to me because I thought this was just like public, like domain. I did not know that that was a thing. So apparently Netflix owns now this body cam footage. I can still put out the videos. I just can't monetize the videos, which is fine because I'm not trying to make money off of the backs of, off this tragic, like, body cam footage. But it was just interesting to me. I didn't know that you could own that. Just like courts. I didn't know that people could own the footage to like court proceedings. I thought that was all just like public stuff. I don't know. Anyways, let's get started. So we're just gonna, like I said, finish watching this from yesterday. This is where we ended. And let's turn my volume up. If it's not loud enough, let me know in the comments.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I get my key and make like a little bag? If you can grab me something? Yeah.
So just to give you guys a little update on where we are from right here, the police officers have just apologized to Brian, and Brian is apologizing to the police officers about everything that's happening. If you have not seen the first part of this, Gabby Petito is sitting in the back of one of these cop cars, hysterical, crying, can't pull herself together, and we are apologizing to Brian Laundrie. And also, if you're new to this, hi, Justin. If you're new, we watched let's just play it. I'll play it for a little bit of context.
Dispute, Florida with the white van, Florida license plate, white land. Gentleman likes to report a domestic dispute, Florida with the white van, Florida license plate, white land. Gentleman, about 5'6" beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what do you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Okay, you said it's a white van?
Okay, so just for context, somebody called 911 to report a domestic dispute. In the 911 call, they said that the male was slapping the female, and they said that they were running up and down the street, and he proceeded to continue to hit her. Interesting, Medell. Yeah, I don't know. But he proceeded to assault her. And when the police got here, they had said that the witness claimed they didn't see him hit her. They claimed that she was trying to get in the van, which he locked her out of, which is her van. We know that being a control tactic. And we talked a lot yesterday about how they ID'd Gabby as the aggressor and just how horrifically they took care of the situation.
All right.
Would you mind watching for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, just if you don't mind doing it from over here, we don't want you to get hit in the road.
Okay.
So.
And also, too, they are treating him very kindly, very gently, you know, because they've decided now, even though, sorry, I'm trying to adjust in my chair. Even though that somebody called and said that the male was, hello, Lucia, even though that they said that the male was assaulting the female, they are treating him so kindly and so gently, and they're not with Gabby. It's knowing what happens, it's very sad to watch.
I don't have anyone saying he actually punched you aggressively. It sounds like he was shoving in a manner that was probably more consistent with trying to make you from over the man or to get space from you, not to slap the face. So,
yes, they are.
If he was returned and he was beating on you and you were shoving him, of course we're going to look at it like, oh, of course she's defending herself away from this guy. But we're kind of looking at the same way with him. We have to take both very different, bigger.
So here's the thing, too. She told police when they had said, did you hit him? She said, I guess I hit him first. And he said, what do you mean? And she said, he grabbed my face, which she has scratch marks all over her face. We looked at her photo yesterday. She has scratch marks all over her face. And she was trying to hit him or push him to get him off of her. Nothing that was said from the 911 call, from Gabby, nothing that was said was taken into consideration, except for the fact that she has anxiety. And then one of these police officers goes on and said, see, when you have anxiety, what you can get yourself into? Brian hitting Gabby is not what she can get herself into. Just so we're clear.
The law doesn't say, hey, Officer Crown, Officer Robbins, you can treat people different based on gender and sex. You can. Even if it makes no sense, we probably could not physically destroy this man.
I wish I could cut out the background noise. It's so much.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I'm still going to be here for a few minutes dealing with this, so we have almost as much time as we need. So, last name Laundry is L-A.
So what's happening right now is the police officers have decided that Gabby is the primary aggressor and that they're going to take Brian to a domestic abuse or domestic violence hotel, which they are going to pay for. You don't see me? I'm right here. I think it might just be you. I don't know. I can see me. I can see me. Yeah, I don't know. But they are taking him to a domestic violence hotel, and they're going to put Gabby in the van, and then they are supposed to stay away from each other for the rest of the night.
In Laundry? Yes. So they were at Moonflower, the organic grocery store down the street from you guys, and They got into a heated argument. Both of them are saying it was over petty stuff. He told her to take a walk so that she could cool off. She refused, broke into the car after he locked her out of it.
She can't break into her own. Oh, my fucking God. I said I was going to be calm this morning. She cannot break into a car that she owns. She cannot break into a car that she owns. One more time. Say it with me, folks. She cannot break into a car that she owns.
She started trying to slap and scratch him. He pushed her away. They both got in the vehicle, took off, and I found him out here next to him.
She got in the car, started to hit him, started to scratch him, and then they went away. Let's play this again.
The Florida with the white van, Florida license plate, white land, gentleman,
Where's
about
it at?
5'6" beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what'd you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
The gentleman was slapping the girl.
Slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Proceeded to hit her. I said to myself, self, calm. Be an adult this morning. The answer is no. The answer is no. I can't.
No. Well, we are charging her with domestic assault. So there's going to be a protection order set in place between the two of them until he's able to get over to the PD tomorrow. Because he doesn't want to pursue it, but I don't have a choice in this, as I'm sure you are well aware. So he's going to be wanting to go over to the PD first thing tomorrow morning as they open up to get the protective order removed.
Midell says, I wonder what these officers' reactions are when the body of Gabby was found. For sure they remember her. I hope that for these police officers, that was an incredibly eye-opening experience. I hope that they go back. I hope that they watch this footage back. And I hope that they look at their behavior and I hope they make changes. I mean, I think that's all we can do is hope that they do these things. Listen, people are going to people. Everybody's going to make mistakes. Especially, and I have to tell you, when it comes to law enforcement, being in these high stress situations and making decisions immediately, it's got to be difficult. I cannot imagine where this is easy. However, as people, we can also take our mistakes and we can learn from them and we can grow from them and we can move on. I hope that they did that. That's my hope.
But that doesn't fix tonight. Yeah.
I agree. Betsy says, with the body cam footage out there, no way the officers will ever forget. I don't think so. And listen, I think when these police officers and these, our public servants, right? When they go out there and they do these jobs, when somebody's life is lost, I think it would take a certain type of person to not feel guilt if you were a part of that scenario, right? Like, I'm not going into this saying that these officers, you know, they don't feel anything. I don't know them personally. I have not talked to them. I have not met them. I have to assume, as a person with empathy, I hope that they also have empathy and they were like, holy shit, they feel bad and now they have to change it and move on. I would hope that they would make those changes and make those adjustments, because it would take a cold SOB to look at what happens to her 10 days from now and go, well, tried my best. I also understand that you can't take these things home with you, but I assume that there has to be a level of guilt with some of these guys. I hope there is. I hope there is. And listen, you can't save everybody, right? Like, even if they did all the right things in all the right protocols, is it possible that Gabby could have gone back to Brian and the outcome could have been the same? Yes. However, in that scenario, you can look back on your part and say, I did absolutely everything that I was supposed to do. I followed protocol. And then what happens after that is out of your care. But when they labeled Gabby as the primary aggressor and they took all the blame off of Brian, when from the 911 call, we know him as the primary aggressor, that gave Brian a get out of jail free card, essentially, with a lack of better words. Like, it gave him a free pass. Very bad policing, period. In this situation, I agree. Would like to see an interview with them now and see what they think now. I agree. I would like to see that as well. I would.
Sorry about that. Go ahead. Yes, they both have Florida licenses. Of course.
It's not that I'm giving them a break. I don't want to sit here and completely shit on law enforcement knowing that their job is very difficult and that I don't do it. I'm critiquing officers from my basement. You know what I mean? Like, I that's not lost on me. So it's not about just giving them a break. It's also just, you know, this situation was handled wrong from start to finish. Also, I have to ask, I wonder where the miscommunication was between the 911 call, the dispatcher, and these police officers. How did that get so lost through translation?
Right. Well, the other part of it is we don't think it's very likely, but with her as the suspect in this, would you be able to put her up for the night? Okay. I figured I had to make sure I at least asked. It's better safe than sorry. So I didn't know if that would make your life any easier or any tougher on it. So. Awesome. And if it's easier for you to just send me a text with a location.
Red Sonny says police department claimed they would be training the officers I and the detectives to find, or whoever, to find out if they ever implemented such training. I would be interested to know that. They did say that there was going to be more training. And absolutely, I think that police need training when it comes to situations like this, because they are so complicated. Or if there's a domestic violence dispute, somebody had made the comment in my live yesterday that a counselor should immediately be called, right? And something that we talked about was the fact that the police, this was all handled on the side of the road. They should have been like, listen, let's go down to the police department. We're going to separate you two. We're going to figure out what's going on. Period. You both have marks on you. We have to figure this out. That's when a counselor or somebody who has more experience comes in. The officer right there makes me angry because he's leaving the other officer to make the decision. He didn't stand up and make the call. They were manipulated by Brian. Oh, sorry, department. No, I understand now. Thank you.
Works just as fine.
God, I wish I could get rid of that background.
Thank you. What did you say your name was again? Pete or Philip? Phil. Okay. All righty, Phil. Talk to you later.
It's so sharp on my ears.
Hey, Brian. Can I take 2 minutes of your time real quick back here?
Can I take 2 minutes of your time?
So, because there was an assault that took place and you were obviously showing signs of the strikes.
Again, and you're obviously showing signs of strikes. Give me 1 second here. You're obviously showing signs of strikes. Let's just take a look at this for context as well. Again, this was also Gabby's face. She also had marks on her arms. Brian was not the only person who has signs of injuries. Brian said, and again, with these police, let's use our critical thinking hats, boys. If Brian said that he was pushing her to de-escalate the situation and to get her off of him, why does she have marks on her face? I'll wait.
Take pictures of the injuries that you sustained. I know it's not super severe. I mean, you want me to call? I mean, I can call the EMS if you want me to. You don't seem like you want to.
They want to take pictures of his injuries. Did anybody take pictures of her injuries?
No, I'm good. If you don't take a photo, you can take a photo.
Yeah, I need to take pictures for my evidence because otherwise it's going to be your say, her say, my say, and the court's going, so I have to do this part of it, alrighty? So it's just going to be a couple of pictures.
And the thing is I can tell that, he doesn't want to go through with these things because he knows. He knows. And if the cop had any question, they should have taken them both in. I agree with you. They should have taken them both down to the department, sat them in separate rooms, had a female officer with her, had a male officer with him. I still don't understand why neither of them were told about the 911 call. We received a phone call. The police are allowed to say that. I've had people call, 911 calls or whatever, and they're like, we've received a phone call because of X, Y, and Z. That's all they had to say. You're not outing anybody. We received a phone call that a male was hitting a female. Explain it. She has marks on her face. Explain it.
Do you like your phone? Do you not have where it is? Without going for it, where is it?
Just hang it. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me if you don't mind me grabbing it.
I can grab it because it's like, it's in a spot.
Why not go with you? Where are we going in the car? First.
Right face. Yeah. One of his ring fingers, I think, has got the scratch on it. And then you saw earlier.
Yeah, I saw the ones. Well, I was trying to build some consistency between the stories.
I'm trying to build some consistency between stories. It doesn't seem like both stories.
And then let me see your hand. Is that? Yeah, let me get your hand.
That one? That right there?
That works.
It could have been a pot. Or it could have been a...
I know you said this is for.
She had... This is so fucking ludicrous. They did. They babied him. They babied him. They are taking pictures of his hands with tiny little scratch marks. She had blood smeared on her face. She had grab marks on her face. She had grab marks on her arms.
From a wire, but I'm going to take a picture of it just in case, and I'll document that you're saying that's from a wire, not from her. Just I want to document everything, you know what I mean? And then your right arm.
Where?
I used to sell car insurance.
Ah! Sorry, guys.
You have anything on the other arm, on your back, chest, anything like that? Let me get your neck real quick as well. You want to kind of tilt your head off to the right and look up?
This way?
And then look up.
I don't know.
Look at him. Just eating this shit up. Just eating it up. Where do you want me? You want me like this? Does this make it? How about this?
And then this is just for precautions. Do you mind lifting your shirt for me? We can go back here if you want some privacy. I want like I said,
So
I want to do
funny.
a thorough job. I want to make sure that you don't have any additional injuries.
I keep repeating myself. This is your victim. And he's laughing.
I don't know how I'm great.
You mind here? Put your collar down for me a little bit. On the other side. There it is. So I talked to my contact over there at ZKB. The people that can help with hotel rooms and stuff like that are out of the office. I'm just playing phone tag with them. A couple people trying to get it all lined up because certain people have access to the corporate card. He doesn't. So we're trying to get everything lined up. This is going to take us a few minutes to get that lined up, get her cited and stuff like that. Like I said, we're going to be handing her a piece of paper that has a Fort Summit, state, stuff like that, and she'll be able to give you all that information once you've got that. Okay? So, you want to hang tight? Well,
Yeah.
you want to go ahead and finish getting your stuff with this fine gentleman here?
And you know what I mean? This is crazy for me to think because an abuser would never. But for him to go through this whole thing and just never be like, yeah, man, we don't need to do all this. Like, we don't need to do all this. Not even admit that he hit her. He doesn't even need...
She's got her cell phone. She's calling her parents just to feel better. She doesn't want to not be with him tonight.
There's
That's
no
what he
choice in
said.
the matter.
Yeah.
So,
So parents, nobody's calling the supervisor. At least that's what he said.
Whoop, sorry, guys.
Right.
I can't hear anything. Scream some more.
He's got a swollen right. Well, he's got a swollen right eye, scratches. So we gotta go find the tape.
Okay. He has a swollen right eye and scratches. He has a swollen right eye and scratches. He has a swollen right eye and scratches. And for context, let's go ahead and play this one more time.
They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what'd you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Intent or
All right.
Gabby, this is a very, very important question. How you answer this question is going to determine what happens next.
Look at
The only
her.
person-
She's still upset. Still. We are 49 minutes into this video and she still can't pull herself together. And they continue to treat her like this.
The person who can answer this question is you. Think very hard before you answer the question. Do not quickly answer. Think very hard. When you slapped him those times, were you attempting to cause him physical pain or physical impairment? Was that what you were attempting to do to him? No. What were you attempting to do? What was the reason behind the slapping and stuff? What was it you were attempting to accomplish?
She already... Hi, officer. Obviously, none of you were fucking listening to anything that anybody has said, okay? Because she already told you this. When you asked her the first time if she hit him, she said, yes, I guess I hit him first. Because he had grabbed her face and she was trying to get him off of her. That's what she told you 48 minutes ago.
I was trying to get him to stop telling me to calm down.
Well, it doesn't sound to me like she attempted to injure him.
Well, it doesn't sound like to me like she attempted to injure him. I have so much fucking hatred right now. So much. You wouldn't have had to ask her this question a second time had you listened to her the first time. Look at her.
It's your call. This is 100% your call. I support you either way.
I'll let you get back to your parents, okay? Say that I hired you. She opened said that she was striking him in the arm. He said she was, and that's what caused him to hit the curb. She said that she got hurt. I might have these two mixed up, probably.
No, she said that too, that she started distracting him by hitting him, and then he probably looked at her, and that's why the mark on the window side. And she said it was her fault because she was distracting him by hitting him. But she said she didn't try to hurt him, it wasn't malicious, she thought that he wasn't listening to her.
So assault is an attempt with unlawful.
I'm trying to turn down that S a little bit.
The code for bodily injury, the definition says bodily injury is infliction of pain or physical impairment or illness. So you can go. Now I'm recording, and society and the judges and everyone can judge me for this. I am looking at a 110-pound female and her fiance who have no means to be separated. He doesn't want to pursue it. She's not a threat to him. More than
She's not a threat to him. She is not a threat to him. She is not a threat to him. You just said it out of your own mouth. She is not a threat to him.
from her fingernails. I don't care if we use the actual letter of the law to not charge, but I also don't care because it literally does possibly make perfect sense to go full-on domestic assault and do the whole thing.
No, it doesn't.
Your opportunity to make the decision.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense, actually. It's funny you should say that. Because it doesn't make sense at all.
Comfortable handling that guy? Yeah. Go handle that guy. Go handle that guy? Okay. If you're more comfortable.
Well, it's 6 one way, half dozen the other.
It's up to you.
I mean, it's a headache whether I go left or it's a headache whether I go right.
Another option is to not charge them but separate them for the night. If they find themselves together again, what is it to you? You separated them. You provided for his safety. If he doesn't have enough sense.
Imagine watching this back as a police officer. You separate them. What is it to you? 10 days later, she's strangled to death. What is it to you? What is it? Not 10 days. Maybe 20 days. This is the 12th, and they believe she was killed on the 27th. So, 25 days, I guess. 15 days? I can't do math. Jesus, God almighty. Yeah, what does it matter to you? And that's the thing. It should if you don't do everything that you're supposed to do and put every absolute thing into place, and you can just wash your hands of this and go on. I don't understand it. But if you did absolutely everything that you were supposed to do, including I don't know, your research or your background or listening to dispatch or listening to Gabby when you asked her a question and she answered it, she's already answered it. And you didn't listen to her answer, or you didn't like her answer, so you went back to ask her again to get a different answer. But what's it to you? What's it to you?
Stay away, and you got him separated. It's on him.
That's right. It is on him, and it will be on him. When he strangles her to death and he leaves her in Teton, Wyoming, thousands of miles away from where she is from. by herself. And then it's on him when he steals her van that you guys claim that she tried to break back into and drives back to Florida while using her credit card, while Venmoing himself money from her account. That's right. It's on him.
You can separate them and say, don't let us go off till tomorrow. If they don't let it go off and we hear about it, we'll hear about it.
Oh, you'll hear about it.
And if there's some fighting going on, you already was Mr. Nice Guy. You already gave him a chance. What you can't do by law is separate someone and say, if we hear from you again, we're going to arrest you. Because then if one of them really needs help, they may not call police and get help. The law says you cannot, literally, you may not say, we get more problems with you guys tonight. One of you is going to, you can't threaten like that. Right. It's true because if it stops you, you want to call the police to get help. Does that make sense? Right. So go full or nothing or in between and separate them and kind of give them the nod, the wink, like, hey, just stay separated. It's up to you. I'm going to go handle that. You got very capable help with you here, and I trust you.
I cannot imagine being Gabby's mother watching this footage back and how, knowing what happens, just how dismissive they are in this moment. And I'm not trying to give them a pass, but I understand. They have other calls, they have other things. And like I said earlier, they can't save everybody. But just the amount of dismissiveness that they showed to her and disregard that they showed to her is insane to me.
I will. Alrighty, man. So we're still going to be going through. I do need some things from you, though. Do you mind if I get a picture of your driver's license?
Yeah. I was thinking it was in parts like that. This is me. Uh-oh. I know this man has hair.
You said that this is still your mailing address, right? Mm-hmm. It's still the right way. Alright, and then... Ryan, what is your phone number?
Thank you guys for helping us. Oh, yeah, no problem. Have a good day.
My phone number? Yeah.
I honestly, it's gone quickly from anger to just like pure sadness. It's all this whole thing. And the other thing is too, is the amount of officers that were around. The female officer. This was passed through so many hands.
Alright, there we are. Can I get your phone number?
She's still distraught.
It should just be in like Zion.
Okay, do you have any problems with me taking a picture of it? I have to have IDs and stuff like that for my investigation. Here. So, this is what I'm going to do. I've decided I am not going to cite you for domestic violence battery, okay?
Look at her.
It was...
Imagine having somebody actively hit you, proceed to hit you, and then this is how you're treated. And if anybody ever comes in my comments is like, well, why didn't the victim report it? Because they get treated like this. That's why. They actively, on the 911 call, said that the male was assaulting the female. And then they treat the victim like this. That's why.
It's only going to be a Class B misdemeanor. However,
she is going to get charged with a Class B misdemeanor for somebody putting hands on her. That's why victims don't come forward.
The domestic violence portion of it enhances it. Makes like a major pain in the butt, especially you're 22, right?
Look at her.
So I'm choosing not to cite you today. So you are not going to be charged with it. All right? But this is what I do have to do. I am separating the two of you tonight. Okay? I want you guys both to be tonight away from each other, relax, breathe, crying, because there's no reason to be crying now, okay?
There's no reason to be crying.
I understand that this can feel like it's a nightmare, but you're coming out as the golden flower on top of it, okay? So.
What? My brain hurts so bad. I know that this can seem like a nightmare, but you're coming out as the golden flower on top of it all. That's right. That's right. This golden flower had somebody hit her, and then you decided by the good grace of God that you weren't going to charge her, I guess, with a Class B misdemeanor. This is such a fucking joke.
The van tonight, and you're going to go somewhere else. I am going to get him lined up for the hotel room tonight. I want you guys to stay away from each other.
Exactly, Lucia.
From what you told me and what he told me, you guys have a bunch of little things that are building up, and finally the little string that you guys were tight walking on the road tonight. Does that sound about right? So, I just want everybody to breathe, get a chance away from each other, go eat a meal, talk to your parents, whatever it is you got to do.
In here?
Again, let me just reiterate this.
They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what do you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car.
Proceeded to hit her. Proceeded. They then ask her at the beginning of this body cam footage, did you hit him? She says, I guess I hit him first because he put his hands and grabbed her face. Is that not assault? If I walk up to somebody in a fucking grocery store and grab their face, is that not assault? Who touched who first? And the answer is him. Is it not? He's a professional narcissist manipulator. I missed some of this from Netflix. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they can't put it all in, but put into full context is wild. And yes, it's Medell, it's very dismissive. Extremely. They were dismissive of her feelings, the witness testimony, the 911 call from start to finish. She tried to break into the car. Did anybody even ask her whose fucking car it was? I'm sorry, but I in every situation where I've gotten pulled over, license and registration. Because that could have been a question. The registration is in her name. Is there a reason that you're keeping her keys from her? This is her vehicle. Did anybody ask that question? Because in the 58 minutes that we've been watching, the answer is no, they haven't.
Just told me something. So, like I said, that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Hold on. This is Officer Robbins.
I agree with you. So Lucia says this would have only had one outcome. Knowing a person like Brian, he would have gone psycho on her earlier had they arrested him because he would have blamed her, in my opinion. There was no out for this poor girl. And yeah, I agree with you. I agree. There is no outcome in this scenario where the blame doesn't fall on Gabby. If the police officers don't blame Gabby, Brian will blame Gabby. And I agree with you that I don't agree that there's any safe outcome for her in this. Spitting on someone is already considered assault. Yes, that's right. You don't even have to physically touch them. That's a good point. Now, I know there's body cam footage of more where they're talking to Gabby, which I would be interested to see as well.
Thank you, Phil. Is this your cell phone that I called? I'll just number into my phone. Alright. So, I've got him a hotel room tonight. So here in just a minute, I have to keep you guys separated. For right now, don't contact each other, don't wave at him, okay? Do you want me to say anything to him? Because I can do that for you. You want me to let him know that you love him and that you'll see him tomorrow and stuff like that? I can do that
Make
for you.
sure that if we get a phone charger, definitely good.
Oh, he's bad about that too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure that he has a phone charger, okay? And if I have anything else, please keep your cell phone on so I can call you if I have any questions. Alrighty?
Okay.
Alright, so just kind of sit tight for me real fast and I'm going to talk to Brian.
Here he is, leaning up against her van, so relaxed, chit-chatting with the officers. Haha, let's have a little kiki.
Brian, a couple things.
Couple things?
Couple things. One, I got your hotel room tonight.
Thank you.
Alright.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you, thank you.
The biggest one.
All right.
She claims that she did not have intent to hurt you when she was slapping at you. So technically speaking, it does not fit the letter of the code. So I am not going to be charging her with DV. Exactly. So this is what I am going to do, however. I'm not going to release you guys together. I want you guys to stay away from each other tonight. Okay? She's agreed to it. Take some time to yourselves. You guys both have the exact same story as to what led up to the incident.
I would really be interested in seeing the text thread between them after this, because we know that this night they end up going back to see each other. And I would really like to see A, who texted first, B, how that text went. I'd be really, really interested to see that. The fact that she knows what's going on behind the scenes and she still looks like, please make sure he has a charger, still looking out for him, because any discomfort to him will be a punishment for her. Yes. Yes. And also, the reason that I'm interested in seeing the text messages after this is because it could go one of two ways, right? It could go, I love you, I'm so sorry this happened. Or he could go down the route of actually convincing her that this is her fault.
So, taking some time tonight, specifically, taking tonight away from each other is going to be the...
What a smug fuck.
I think that will help you guys, especially tomorrow when you guys meet up. So she does have a couple of messages for you. One, she says she loves you. She's looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Two, don't forget a cell phone charger.
Yeah, good. He watched me fumble around the entire 3 laps around the car to find one.
Did you find one?
Find one.
Okay. The other thing is I don't want you guys to contact each other.
No,
okay, unless
when he said that she gonna text me or whatever, I was gonna send her a message. Said, please don't message me, but I love you. But yeah,
but tonight,
don't do anything. Yeah. And I'm with
She's passing on her love and saying goodnight and stuff like that. All that do stuff that I do to my wife too. Okay, so
I appreciate it coming from you.
just so don't just try to not contact each other.
I appreciate it coming from you because I hold you in such a high regard. And you know what's funny to me in this situation as well is she sat and make sure Brian has his charger. Has he asked? So she's going to get the van. Where is she going to go? Is she going to be okay? She shouldn't be by herself. Does she have what she needs?
Unless, like I said, earth shattering, something happens, you guys have to jump in the car right now and drive back to Florida because something happened to parents. That kind of circumstance. Yeah, you don't. Exactly. Other than that, just go have a meal by yourself, catch your breath. You're going to be in a hotel room watching TV. It's probably been a few months since you actually got to sit down, relax, and some air conditioning and watch TV. So take some time for you guys. Yeah, take a shower, man. You got to change your clothes. You got some Tonys in there, right? All right, good. Because they're going to have everything that you need to ship camera conditioning, all that good stuff. All right. Our main concern is make sure that you have a cell phone charger so you guys can get tomorrow. Okay? I really appreciate it. So, I am going to walk her over here to the car. Okay? And if you'll just go stand over here in front of his pickup real quick, we'll get her out of here and I'll be right over here. All righty? Give her my hand. Absolutely. Alrighty, Gabrielle, you want to step out for me?
She's still crying.
As you can see,
1 hour and 3 minutes in. She is still upset. He has laughed and smiled this entire time.
Keys in my hand, which is good news, okay? So, something that I do, that I emphasize to him, and I don't know if I emphasize to you or not, don't text each other tonight. He wants to pass on the same message you passed to him. He's really looking forward to talking to you again, but I told him and you, unless there's earth-shattering emergency news, don't text tonight, okay? Even with the good nights, I love you. He's saying good night now. He's saying he loves you now, and you guys can...
Actually, he never said tell her I love her. So, there's also that.
Tomorrow morning, okay? He's going to go to the hotel. I'm going to give you the keys to the van. And we're going to go home. Alrighty? So,
and here's the other thing. Imagine, and again, the reason that I want to see the text thread is because if he texted her first and she didn't text him back, what does that look like? Even though the cops told her that she was supposed to do that. Because we've already seen the text messages of when he texted her and she didn't text him back fast enough.
I'm giving him a ride over to the hotel, okay? So, everything's going to be okay.
Will it be a far drive for me to get him in the morning? I'm just curious.
I'm not going to tell you where he's going to be at tonight. Like I said, I want you guys to be separated. But I can tell you this.
I just don't usually drive the van, so I just want to make sure it's not like far away.
No. It's...
Okay.
It's basically from here to Moonflower.
Okay.
Okay? It's not far at all. So, let's get you in the van.
I wish she would have just gotten in this van and drove to fucking Long Island. Just left him there. And just drove home. This poor baby.
Let's get you on your way, alrighty? Do you want that Gatorade, by the way?
Okay.
You got enough water? Also, something I want you to know. Here, stand over here real fast for me. If you go over to City Market, they have a list of places where you can get yourself a shower for like $4 or $5, something like that. They're pretty cheap. A place where you can shower, decompress, de-stress a little bit, alrighty?
Yeah, I just showered yesterday at one of those.
Well, you didn't have today happen yesterday, so...
Yeah,
it does my wife wonders. When she gets stressed out, it's like, get in the shower. Come on, just get in the shower.
Really relaxing.
Go take a shower, relax, take some time for yourself. And like I said, don't text each other tonight. Text each other tomorrow morning after your eyes open up and you're fully awake at the top of your morning routine, okay? All right, you have a good night, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
I got the ladder, I get the bottom, and it's just the rattle of the rattlesnake. It's just a contact.
correct?
And then we get to Brian talking to the police officer. He's shaking all their hands. They talk about music.
You like it?
I was wondering if you get to play your own personal music in the
Heck yeah, dude.
Excuse
I got my
me.
own phone hooked up to this thing.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. You get to play Rob Zombie in here? Whoa, man. You're so cool. Wow.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's not too hard to go a few hours without having anything interesting happen or anything.
I stuck my hands up because I didn't want to scare you when you pulled over.
Oh, no, you're bad.
Man, we're just all friends now, aren't we? Oh, boy. Well, I can tell you that, yeah, my video about Gabby coming not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. Very upsetting. Very, very angry. This footage, it has brought me, for the next 15 days or however long before he unalives her, he used this situation every time he hit her as justification. Even the cops say you're the problem. They do. They do. They even say to her, see, with having anxiety, the situations that you could get yourself into. This infuriating. That is the only word that I have from watching this from start to finish is infuriating. Thank you, Kayla. Maybe after that, they were thinking we did good. I guess you have to, right? Like, you don't know these people. They don't know the background. But I just don't understand how this could have gone so horrifically left. I don't understand how you get a male to female domestic violence dispute and this happens. I don't. It's horrendous. I don't know if there's other body cam footage. We just watched the full Utah from second officer. All right, let's see this one. Just in case you guys wanted more of this. Let me get through this real quick. An ad for Lysol, not sponsored. And Lucia, as you said before, I don't know what changes, right? If the police made changes to the situation, I don't know if the outcome is different because of who Brian is as a person. And I don't know what the group consensus is either, if this is the first time that he's assaulted her. That's my question, right? Is Moab the first time? A lot of people said that it wasn't. I don't know. Because of the way she looks, just like so scared, so bewildered, so confused, so hysterical. In my personal opinion, I think that this is the first time. It's also the first time that they've ever been alone. So, and not alone in the sense of like alone with each other, but alone if he hits her or he grabs her face, she can't go home. Where's she going to go? The van? There's nobody that he knows that's going to see her, whether it's today or tomorrow. So there's like a sense of freedom that he can do whatever he wants to do when he wants to do it because they're in Teton, Wyoming. Remember her friend talking about the story where she was going out with Gabby and Brian took her ID so she couldn't go. Right. Well, but that I'm just saying like physically assaulted her. I don't remember her saying that he physically assaulted her in that moment. I remember her telling the story though, that they were supposed to go out line dancing, and then Brian stole her purse, and then Brian took her ID so that she couldn't go out. Okay, so here's the second officer. It's the female officer.
I know to keep their rings. Here.
I want to see if anybody talks to Gabby.
Stopped and we've separated the.
She stayed home.
Police, how are you? Hey, we got this van stopped and we've separated the male and the female, and we got both of their stories. Now that we're not looking for them so intensely, I was just wondering if you had a minute to just kind of repeat to me what it is exactly you saw.
Oh, okay. So this is what the witness saw. Kayla says it's sad because had it actually been Gabby's fault, I would have appreciated the police actually acknowledging that men can be abused too, but they were so obviously wrong. Right. And that's true, right? Abuse is not exclusive to one person, one type of person. But in this situation, now this is very important. We are about to hear what the witness saw. I assume this is who called for 911.
No problem, sir. Yeah, so I was talking to my friend across the street near the Forest Service building, and I just noticed that this couple was sort of arguing a bit, and I wasn't staring at them, but it did catch my attention. And what I noticed is it seemed like they were sort of squabbling over a phone. I want to say that he was trying to grab her phone.
Oh my God. So they were squabbling over a phone. He was trying to grab her phone. Remember, they're coming out of Mary Piglet's. They were already fighting. In the documentary, at that time, she had Snapchatted and tried to call Jackson. And I said this when I was filming my video. It is not above an abuser to try to look through your phone. I don't ever think she told her friends, but you don't go from hitting her once to killing. I think this was an ongoing thing. You react differently to the first punch. She acts like she was used to it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
And I'm not sure exactly why. And then it seems like he had sort of blocked the one side of the van and sort of wasn't letting her in. And then the male was stepping into the driver's seat. And she was trying to get into the van. I think he said something about, why are you being so mean, something like that. And I remember she sort of hit him a few times. And it wasn't like slugs in the face, but just kind of like two kids kind of fighting. They reminded me.
This is not this caller. I don't know, but it doesn't sound the same.
Weird. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what'd you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Okay, you said it's a white van.
Is this a different caller?
Very secure, I don't know, children sort of fighting. But there seemed like something was off.
What are the comments?
Weird vibe. And, eventually, he's like, she crawled into the driver's seat, sort of like got into the vehicle over his lap, sort of forced her way in, I guess. And then they were in the car, and then they just drove away. So I wasn't sure what the nature of the argument was or what. It just seems like there was some sort of disagreement and some sort of like shutting. I don't know why she would have entered through the driver's door. I thought that was strange. And yeah, so I thought about calling it in, but as soon as I walked up this bar, there was another gentleman who was already calling it in. So I was like, oh, good on you.
So this is a second witness. So the first witness who saw it saw Brian hitting Gabby, called 911. The second witness saw the aftermath of Brian hitting Gabby, and that's what they went with.
Is it off? I wasn't really sure what to do in that situation, but that's what I saw, and if there's any other specific questions, I'm happy to try to answer.
Did you ever see the male strike the female?
I would say that I think I saw maybe a push or a shove, but not like a full-on punch to the face or anything.
Was the shove was the shove or push an aggression towards her, or was it a defensive maneuver away from her or to get her away from him?
That's a good question. It was unclear what was going on to me, but it did seem like he was. It seemed like he was trying to close off the passenger side of the vehicle and close things up. It almost seemed like he put that backpack or something on the back of the vehicle, I'm not sure. And then he was stepping in and she was out trying to get in. So maybe,
okay.
I don't, it was, the whole thing was off. And so, no, I didn't see anything that was like him taking after her or hitting her or vice versa. There was a very...
Also vice versa. I didn't see it vice versa. But you did see her, this is not the witness, because the police officer ends up saying this to Gabby, or not to Gabby, to somebody else, that the witness saw Gabby trying to break into the van that belonged to her, that was registered to her. It's her van. You cannot break into your own stuff.
It was kind of light, and they were almost kind of laughing, and I wasn't sure if they were just joking around, to be honest, but then it got more strange as he was in the vehicle, about to drive off.
But you did see her slapping him, though, it sounds like.
Yes, it was like, my memory is he was in the driver's seat, and she has the driver's door open, and she was like kind of hitting him either in the arm or maybe on the face, maybe with an open hand, like, hey, let me in, don't be a jerk, something like that.
Okay. Well, you know, your story is really, really helpful because you're an independent witness, and we've just interviewed both of them, and what you're saying is making everything make a lot of sense. So
yeah,
really
you know what would make a lot of sense? If you guys listen to dispatch. Because it would make a lot of sense that Brian was assaulting her, not letting her into her own van, and then she wanted to get in the van, and she, was protecting herself. And also, he was, locking her out of her own vehicle. The more I watch, the worse it gets. The worse it gets.
That I ran into you and that I was able to get your number and talk to you. So thank you very much. If we need to ask for a written statement, obviously it's voluntary, it's helpful, but at this point I don't know if we need to go that far unless you're around and super willing at this moment. I can meet you and get a statement.
Yeah, no, I live here, totally willing to do that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Maybe I'll just go. Yeah, I can go write it down now before memory fades, because like I said, I was kind of just casually observing, but something did seem off, and just wanted to make sure that no one was in a bad situation. So
where can we find you to give you a form real quick?
Increase your profit and work.
So now they will talk to Gabby.
Tell you what he said real quick. Do you mind hanging with him for a minute?
Oh, this is okay. So now they
saw the male trying to lock her out of the vehicle. She even told us that he was trying
okay, so we got all that.
from her. But he said it's all like over into the right.
We've seen all this. Whoop.
And you do have injury. And
we've seen all this.
How are we supposed to separate you guys? And I don't want to take this small 20. What is she?
Yes, a 22-year-old.
22-year-old female to jail.
To jail.
You could definitely defend yourself against, but
all right, let's see.
This is what you'll drink from. Plus, it's ice cold, and so I'm going to drink from it. Sorry. You'll probably never be a full-grown man.
And then you do curls.
Then you can do your curls. So, look, I'm going to speak to you frankly. I have a daughter almost your age.
Oh my God. The fact that he's trying to give her like life advice and he tries to do this counseling thing. My wife, you know, let me tell you about my wife. Let me tell you about my marriage. I have a daughter your age, while also just getting this so horrifically wrong is all, it makes me so upset. Just shut up. Shut up.
You, not so much like a suspect, but also as kind of a victim in the sense that you're dealing with some struggles emotionally and mentally at your age. Probably they'll work themselves out as you get older. There's a lot of angst at your age, and I remember being your age too. And hopefully it works itself out. But the stuff you did today that contributed to this, because you both contributed to this, is as a result of your inability to cope with the anxiety and the stress that you're having. So in a way, you're kind of...
What are you, a fucking... Oh my God! Your inability to cope. What is happening? Are you a police officer or a psychiatrist? Your inability to cope, he tells her.
And hopefully it works itself out. But the stuff you did today that contributed to this, because you both contributed to this, is as a result of your inability to cope with the anxiety and the stress that you're having. So in a way, you're kind of a victim of this.
Kind of a victim. You're kind of a victim of this. She got hit first. He grabbed her face first. She is a victim. Period.
Better if you had the skills to do better. But you don't learn.
If you... Oh my fucking God. It keeps getting worse. If you had the skills to do better. I cannot stand when cops act like their counselor is giving smartest guy in the room vibes and he's just wrong. Makes it even dumber. I don't know what to fucking say with this. I cannot put together a thought.
Inability to cope with the anxiety and the stress that you're having. So in a way, you're kind of a victim of this. I think you would have done better if you had the skills to do better.
If you had the skills to do better. I'm going to start fucking crying because here's the thing. I've been in a relationship like this. And all people like Brian Laundrie, all they do is tell you that if you were just better, if you just did what I said, if you just could do this, why can't you just be like this? Then she gets hit. Then the cops said, if you just had the skills to be better. You know, I take back what I said earlier. I hope all these motherfuckers feel so fucking terrible about this entire situation. This was handled so fucking sloppily. Yeah, thank you, Midell. Bet it would be different if it was your daughter, wouldn't it? If some man put his hands on your daughter, I bet you wouldn't be telling her, well, sorry, you don't have the skills to fucking cope. Or maybe he does. Maybe that's what he tells his wife. Maybe, maybe if she had better skills. So now she's had police walk up to her and say, so Brian's usually pretty patient with you. See the actions that your anxiety can get you into? Or see the consequences that your anxiety can get you into? You cannot cope with your mental stress things that you have going on. Hopefully that'll work itself out. If you just had the skills to be better, on top of all of the stupid ass bullshit that Brian Laundrie is telling her. From the bottom and the most disrespectful place in my heart. Fuck you.
You don't learn skills until you learn skills, and you don't have enough life experience yet to know how to navigate everything. Like, I don't either, but I can navigate what happened. If I was in your shoes, I could handle it different because I'm 39 years old. I've been through it. But I've got a lot of life lessons to learn still because I'm like my dad and my grandpas, they know stuff I don't know, right? They can do stuff I don't know. So in a way, I'm just letting you know that we sympathize with you.
But we don't. But we don't. That's exactly what the fucking point is. We sympathize with you, but we don't. But we don't. But we fucking don't.
Their witnesses said, and even based on what your fiance has mentioned, trying his very hardest not to have you in any trouble, he does have marks on him that witnesses say were caused by you slapping him. And that even you say you slapped him and were aggressing him first. And I don't have anyone saying that he actually punched you aggressively. It sounds like it was shoving in a manner that was probably more consistent with trying to prevent you from entering the van or to get space from you, not to assail you. Does that make sense? So if the tables were turned and he was beating on you...
As a 39-year-old as well, I'm embarrassed by this cop pretending he's some sage. So thoughtful Doom guy, I am also 39 years old. I'm also 39 years old. This means nothing to me. When
you were shoving him, of course we're going to look at it like, oh, of course she's defending herself to get away from this guy. Well, we're kind of looking at it the same way with him, and we have to treat both fair, even if he's a bigger male and you're a smaller female. The law doesn't say, hey, Officer Pratt and Officer Robbins, you can treat people different based on gender under the same, so we can't. Even if it makes no sense that because you probably could not.
Now, here's what I don't understand. They took the witness phone call who said the other guy was calling because he was there first. Okay, the second guy said, that guy was already calling. And then the second guy said what he said, So if you put these two things together and then you come here, I don't understand how you just completely disregard that a man called in a domestic violence dispute because why am I talking? Why am I talking?
And gentleman,
Where's it at?
5'6" beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what'd you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car.
Proceeded to hit her, which means he hit her multiple times. What is happening?
Physically destroy this man the way that he could if he attacked you. We can't treat you different, okay? So all that long-windedness I'm giving you right now is leading up to the fact that...
And that would all be fine and well if Brian was the actual victim. That would have been great. Good on you. Hi, Kat. Good on you for acknowledging that Brian could be a victim. That would be great if we were in a scenario where he was actually a victim.
If I pull someone over for speeding, I have the right to give them a warning. I have something called officer discretion. But in the legislature in Utah, they have made a law that if we have a domestic assault, they don't trust the police to make...
You know what? Let's see here. Hold on one second. Let's go see. Utah protocol. I already go through this in my video. Protocol, domestic violence. Utah protocol. Let's see. In Utah, addressing domestic violence, particularly intimate partner violence or IPV, involves a structured approach known as the IPV lethality assessment protocol, which was put into, okay, so this was after. No. Before. This was before, because this was because of her. Before, when was this? 2021? No, in 2021. All right, let's see. Hold on. In 2021, Utah enacted significant legislation to enhance a response. Okay. Key legislative actions in 2021. To provide comprehensive training. This is not what I need. I need to know what happens. What is the protocol? Give me the protocol here. Oh, so it's only giving me what's happened since her legislation has been put into place in Utah. However, the lethality assessment protocol means that they should have asked these questions. Has the person ever used a weapon against you? Has the person threatened to kill you or your children? Do you think that this person might try to kill you? Does the person have access to a gun? Has the person ever tried to choke you? Is the person violently or constantly jealous? Or do they control most of your daily activities? That should be question number 1. Have you left or separated from the person after living together or being married? Is the person unemployed? Has the person ever tried to unalive themselves? Do you have a child that the person knows is not theirs? Has the person ever been arrested for DV or other violent offenses? If the victim responds affirmatively to certain critical questions, such as those about threats of a weapon, threats to unalive, attempts to choke, or a personal belief that the other person might try to unalive them, the situation is assessed as potentially lethal. And, so they are required to inform the victim of the assessment results, refer the victim to a non-governmental victim advocate at a primary purpose domestic violence organization, submit the lethality assessment results to the Department of Public Safety. That's where we're at.
Make good decisions because too many cops have taken assault. But in the legislature in Utah, they have made a law that if we have a domestic assault, they don't trust the police to make good decisions because too many cops have made bad decisions.
Girl, I need to make that a sound right now and put it on my soundboard. Let's play that one more again.
In the legislature in Utah, they have made a law that if we have a domestic assault, they don't trust the police to make good decisions because too many cops have made bad decisions.
I'm going to let that marinate for a second.
So they say, we're not going to give you discretion. We're going to write a law that says if you have a domestic assault, whether it's male on female or female on male, whoever the primary aggressor is has to be charged. No choice. You don't get to give them a warning. It doesn't even matter if they barely hurt at all and the guy doesn't want to press charges or the girl doesn't want to press charges. We don't have a choice. We literally have no choice. He does not want to press charges. He says, you guys are a team. He says, you're his fiance. He says, he loves you. He says, he doesn't want anything to happen. But we're explaining to him that we don't have any choice in this. So we're trying to get a local victims advocacy group called Seek Haven to get him a hotel for the night so that you can have the van, because they won't give you the hotel because you're the one who is the primary aggressor. So they're going to consider him the victim, so they're going to get him a hotel. So he wants you so that you don't have to go to jail, because the only thing we can do is take you to jail. He says, well, so she doesn't have to go to jail, then I will accept Seek Haven's help if they'll give me a hotel, and then she can have the van so she doesn't have to go to jail, she can just have a ticket. When you get the ticket, it's going to give you a phone number to call, and they're going to give you a court date, and that court date...
Okay, so let's talk about why they didn't act on the 911 call. 911 dispatch informed the officers that a witness saw Laundrie hitting Petito. But when officers arrived, they questioned a different witness at the scene. And then that's when they got his number. So I don't know if they ever spoke to the first witness. When one of the officers was questioning Gabby, I believe she wanted to say more, but she didn't because Brian was standing right behind her. When? Because they've been separated since they pulled her out of the van. Did you know that when Gabby's parents filed their suit against the police, evidence was discovered that one of these officers had a history of pervasive, professional, and S misconduct, S harassment, and IPV. Why does this not surprise me with the way that she's being spoken to? I want to copy this. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I got his name and everything. Ooh. Let's talk about it. In the wrongful death lawsuit filed by Gabby Petito's parents against the Moab Police Department, no individual officers faced criminal charges. However, the lawsuit highlighted concerns regarding a certain officer conduct during the August 12, 2021 traffic stop involving Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie. The allegations against this officer are bias and misconduct. The amended lawsuit filed in November of 2022 alleged that he exhibited bias against Petito and claimed he had a history of professional and SUL misconduct, including SUL harassment and IPV, rendering him unfit for duty, according to thesun.com. Admission of threats. The lawsuit further alleged that his name's Eric Pratt, by the way. I don't know why I'm not saying his name. Officer Eric Pratt. The lawsuit further alleged that Officer Pratt admitted to recognizing Laundrie as a threat, but chose not to enforce the law to protect Petito. He purportedly stated that he would rather be removed from the police department than follow legal requirements in such situations. And this is according to wikipedia.org and Deseret.com. Following the incident, Officer Pratt was promoted to detective. Wow. That's exciting. Good for you, Eric. The decision faced criticism from locals, especially in the light of the allegations that he had threatened to unalive a former mistress in 2017 to keep her silent about their affair. Pratt did not respond to multiple requests for comment regarding these allegations and has not faced charges related to them. Because it's a good old boys club. It's important to note that while serious allegations were made against Officer Pratt, they did not result in criminal charges. So these are all allegedly. The focus of the legal proceedings has been on the civil lawsuit against the Moab Police Department, which was dismissed but is currently under appeal by the Petito family. This quote from Pratt from an interview is insane. Quote, "If I would have known Laundrie was going to murder her, I would have taken vacation to follow them because I care about people." Quote, "To the point where he was going to murder her, and I would have intervened and citizens arrested him in Wyoming. I would have taken my own time. I would have missed my family to go do that." Unquote. I wish I would have known this. I would have put it in my video, but maybe I can make a part 2. What the fuck is happening? Wow. I was unaware of this and my educational guess of which officer it was. Unbelievable. And through all of this, he's been promoted to detective. Yay.
It will probably be online.
I have to come back to Utah?
No, it'll be online.
Oh.
You have a smartphone?
Yeah.
So you can. I go to court. You're okay.
Sorry, I've never heard of this. I didn't know
Yeah.
this was in
When
Utah.
COVID happened, they switched all the court from in person to online. So when I go to court now,
I have a ticket for hitting the curb or something, please, because we're okay. Like, we're just.
I understand, but we don't have.
He wasn't fired. Sonia, he was not fired. He was promoted to detective. He was promoted.
Like, listen, if I had any discretion in this, I would separate you guys for the day and just give you warnings to stop hitting each other. But I lawfully don't have discretion here. I don't have any.
Because somebody said something, like a witness said something.
Because there's 2 witnesses.
Yeah, and oh my God! There's 2 witnesses. What did the first one say? I am dumber from oh my God.
Yeah. 5'6" beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what'd you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Okay, you said it's a white van?
What you said when he said, and guess what? It all matches nicely that you.
The loser. I've struggled a time or two wondering if the police or Brian's mother should be considered more guilty when looking at how both handled things. This girl has been failed time after time after time since she left Long Island by the people who were supposed to protect her the most. by her fiance, by her fiance's family, who she moved in with, by the police. That poor girl. Now she thinks two strangers think she's in the wrong. So Brian, police, and two strangers. I feel for her. She's now thinking she has to be in the wrong and deserves that treatment. Exactly. She's been assaulted. The knuckles. She's been assaulted, and everybody has now convinced her that this is her fault. And I'm going to just take a educated guess here that after they get out of this situation and Gabby and Brian go back to each other, that he is going to reiterate to her that this is her fault. Yeah, Kat, I am so sorry. I am very sorry for you.
Who were the primary aggressor, and that the injuries he has were caused by your aggression towards him, even if he doesn't feel hurt.
In the beginning of the last video, they acknowledged that she also had visible injuries on her face and her arms. Did they forget that? Hi, Betsy. Did they forget that when they sat her down in this car, they acknowledged that she had visible marks on her that were new? He said, that looks new.
Hurt, even if he doesn't want to press charges, there's nothing any cop can do about it. It's written into the law.
I know, but I don't...
Normally we take people to jail, but he's trying to work it so you can just have the van. Tomorrow,
I don't want to be separated.
You gonna have anxiety?
Yeah, no, we're a team, please.
There's not? What is it?
No, like, we're a team, please. It's gonna give me so much anxiety. Can we just have like a driving ticket?
And so this is what I want to point out in cycles like this. And this is Brian's first, like, best case scenario, right? Brian causes this chaos. She has nobody to run to, so she has to go back to Brian because there's a sense of security there. He's made it that way. He's isolated her so that she can only depend on him, so that he is her only sense of stability. It's like fishing. He throws you out, tosses you back in, reels you back in, throws you out, reels you back in. So he's done all this shit to her, and now she's alone. She's isolated. She's in Teton, Wyoming. The only place of comfort that she has is Brian. And this is how the cycle repeats. Misconduct, yeah. But him telling her it was her fault would have been preceded by a fake apology. That's the pattern. Right. It's the push and pull. The push, the pull, the push. I love you, but this is your fault. I wouldn't have done that because I love you so much if you weren't like this. If you were better, I wouldn't act the way that I do. That's how that all goes.
Supervisor, and see if I'm missing something here.
You're missing the whole fucking point.
I'll pay any driving ticket, a parking ticket, anything.
Okay, Gabby, try to calm down, and I'm going to go call a supervisor, but I don't think that there's much I can do, but let me see if the supervisor can tell me something I'm missing to make this not happen.
I couldn't handle that, I'm sorry.
Just give me a minute, okay? You don't have to sit out in the hot sun unless you want. Okay.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, $118 for car insurance. That's how much I was paying, okay? I picked up the car a few months ago, and watch this. Ready? $97 premium, $20 were my fees, $118.
Sorry, we're watching this. I'm looking at, okay. I'm going to give you guys one guess on who Detective Eric Pratt is? Let's see what this says. Let's see. The subsequent investigative review raised questions about the police handling of the situation. Specifically, it was revealed that officers failed to adequately do anything. Let me edit this for you. To adequately document injuries to Gabby's face, which later came to light through a selfie shared by the family's attorney. A contentious point in this case is the police's determination that Gabby was the primary aggressor in this encounter. Let's see. Developments within the Moab Police Department have come to light, including the disclosure that Officer Pratt was elevated to the position of detective subsequent to Gabby's demise. Pratt has assumed this new role within the Moab Police Department, where he has been serving for several months. She needed help. She needed help. Absolutely. Brian's parents' conduct was disgusting as well. You know, I in my new video, when I wrote the script, when I went into watching the documentary, losing a child, being a parent of losing a child makes sense to me, right? Like, I think we can all get on that, like, understanding that pathway. Very tragic, very heartbreaking. What I struggle to, like, wrap my brain around is people who are parents of the monster in these situations. And I went into this whole thing trying to understand them, right? Because I'm a mother. I don't know how I would handle if somebody else's child was taken by the actions of my child. What do you do? How do you separate from that, right? And the more and more I watched this documentary, the more I was so fucking repulsed by the laundries. Just the behavior was, I don't know. But we're watching, this is Eric Pratt's footage right now. This is the guy with the beard that we saw in the other footage. You guys can look up his stuff on the internet if you want. I'm not going to show it here.
Little boy on his like little slapped a tiny little girl. Hey, so a tiny little girl, 22 years old, slapped her boyfriend, her fiance, several times. He's got a little bit of a little tiny abrasion on his chin, on his jaw. They got into a van and drove off. They got called in by there's one caller and then a witness. Got them stopped. The story from the witnesses matches the story from the female, matches the
No,
story
it doesn't! No, it does not! No, it fucking doesn't!
5'6" beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what do you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Okay, you said it's a white van?
Hi, Lil B.
She was pissed off. She's having a rough day. He tries to separate from her. She's not staying away from him. She has severe anxiety problems. He locks her out of the van, says, you need to go for a walk and cool off. She's forcing her.
He locks her out of the van. Maybe collect the fucking registration. That's right. Lucia, if I could highlight my comments, and I just can't. I don't know why this doesn't work anymore.
Her way into the van. She's clawing her way past him into the van.
It's her van! It's her van. I don't need to claw past someone when they've locked me out of my own fucking vehicle. License and registration, please. All across America. Doesn't matter where you go. If you're in California, if you're in Wyoming, if you're in Long Island. License and registration. Oh, this registration says Gabby Petito. Who is the owner of this van? Gabby Petito. Brian, why do you have the keys to lock this girl out of her own fucking van? Ah!
He's shoving her to get her out of the van, but he's not assaulting her or...
He's shoving her to get her out of her own van. But he's not assaulting her. That's right. She just has marks on her for 0 reasons.
He's not assailing her. He's trying to keep her out. She's punching, slapping, everything. She's got to be 105 pounds soaking wet, 22, full of anxiety, having a really tough time.
Because she was assaulted. Oh, my God. This is who you promoted, Moab. This is who you promoted? I think the scarier thing is that we know police take psych evals. Right. He was creating space. I'm sorry, Lil B. You're right. Brian was actively creating space because he just wanted to de-escalate the whole situation. That's right. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm wrong. That's right. He was creating space.
Not making excuses, but I mean, it is written in the code. We do have a domestic assault here. He's not wanting to pursue it. He's very adamant. He does not want to pursue it. We're explaining we don't have any discretion on these things. We're giving him a no contact. We're letting Cave and see if they can get him a hotel so she can have the van so that we don't have to put her in jail. She's really struggling with the idea of being alone and not with him and not having the van. They want to be together. I told her, look, there's not anything I can do. This is all written into freaking statute. I just said the last thing I can do is call a supervisor and see if where this is such a minor. There's like a slap fight and the injury is from a fingernail. I just don't.
I have to go in 5 minutes. Listen to what call? Sorry, but how many times are we going to listen to the call? This is the second camera body cam. We won't watch this again because I can't take it. But yeah. And I have to go be a parent in about 5 minutes. They need to take psych evals yearly. Interesting. Yeah. What happened? Like, when you watch all of this back in real time, how does it go this bad? I really don't understand how it all goes this bad. I don't know how you refer to witnesses and then you just completely discredit one of them, the initial phone call. How is that just completely thrown out the window? I can never and will never understand. Anyways. If you guys were not here yesterday, I will tell you today that on Monday, my daughter will be getting an MRI. And on Wednesday, when I'm supposed to upload my video, we will be having a telehealth appointment with the oncologist, depending on what happens with that, to see how the MRI went. So Wednesday is a big day for us, depending on how it goes. I may or may not be here Thursday. If I'm not here Thursday, give me some patience and some grace, please. And the video, I'll upload the video. I'll set it to Premiere. I don't know if I'll do it earlier so that I could be in the chat. I don't want to do it later because, like I said, I don't know how the phone call is going to go. But that's what's going on next week. So you might see me, you might not. We don't know how it's going to be. My husband's going to be on vacation. Hopefully it all goes well. But anyways, wishing y'all good health. Thank you. You know what? I am excited for this whole thing because I'm excited to get more answers. This is going to be, hi Pina. Oh yay, sending you prayers, pretty lady. Thank you. This is going to give us a lot more answers and insights into what's happening with my daughter. So we'll be doing that. Other than that, I have to go be a parent and bake a cake with my daughter for my husband's birthday. You guys have been great. And yeah, take all the time you need, hoping the best for you and yours. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I will see you hopefully next week. Bye.